Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Major League Minute Podcast. I'm Doc, and I'm here with GMP. Why are you laughing at me? Thanks for joining us on this episode. Episode 35, follow up to the poaching. We mentioned some of the poaching things last week, that the LOVB was poaching some of the MLV players. Got some, you like to call it backlash.
I don't know, just, feedback. Let's say feedback.
Positive and negative feedback regarding that perspective. But we'll talk a little bit about that, but I know you're coming in hot. You took me off my script, and you're just saying, let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. So why don't you open this up? Let's get right into it. First of all, comments about being biased.
Yes.
TikTok, Instagram, both, all kinds of flurry on social media.
I'm not exactly sure where that comment was specific, but it did, open up my eyes a little bit as far as, now, I don't think I'm biased, but I'll get to that in a second. But I think another part of that comment was how it seems to us that you're kind of becoming this I don't like love podcast. And so that really brought attention to me and opened up my eyes. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Let's do some recon. Because...
Recon?
Some reconstruction.
Okay, reconsider. Yeah.
Reconsideration. Yeah. What does it stand for? I thought that.
I have no idea, but anyway.
I thought
what's the objective?
Was reconstruction.
You thought it over. You've listened to some of the clips.
Yes.
You can understand how maybe it has come across in a certain.
Well, I think you're right. I do sound biased only because my opinion and my belief actually aligns with what I am doing. So I'm like, everybody sounds biased then if they're supporting what they're doing.
And if you're not biased to what you're doing, you probably shouldn't be doing it, because you're out of alignment with your.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, you should never be biased, right? Like intentionally biased. I think that's the difference here.
Okay.
I might sound biased, but it's because my opinion and my belief aligns with actually what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
Maybe, I guess they have the right to say that I sound biased, but I think the biggest difference, like I just said, is the intentionality behind it. I'm not intentionally trying to sway people one way or another or paint a picture that's incorrect,
right?
Because that's what I want. This is truly what I believe in and what I'm doing.
For those of you that are out there that have literally no idea what GMP is talking about, what are you talking about? Biased about what?
Well, I just think that we need to, and I'll speak for myself, I need to do a better job of, the goal of our podcast, the goal of our discussions here are just to give people the facts, right? To just inform them.
From our perspective, our experience.
From our perspective.
The lens that we see it through.
Correct. But also the truth.
Yeah.
It's not just, speak your truth and my truth is my truth. Like this is the truth,
right?
But
there's some ambiguity to that statement, but yeah.
Yes, so
we see the same thing through different lenses, and we interpret that differently, which is okay, and that's great.
Yes, I would agree with that. I actually just thought of like several examples that you and I just had within the last 30 minutes.
Yeah,
but it's just pretty natural for someone to sound biased when they're talking about what they're doing. So just wanted to make that aware that I specifically, and I'm sure you will do the same, of, trying to be a little less opinionated, although that's going to be pretty hard to not share our opinions, but.
So what are you saying? Because that's hard for me to do, to not express how I genuinely see something through my lens of experience and exposure and.
Yeah, I guess I don't think that is possible for us to not share our opinions. I actually think people want to know our opinions, but maybe do it in a way where it doesn't seem
skewed one way or the other.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Let's just try.
I thought that's what we were doing in some form, because we always present the other side of the argument. We've always said that no dime is too thin, that it doesn't have two sides. Give me some of that.
I have never heard that statement until you said it a few weeks ago.
It doesn't matter how thin it is. There's always another side.
Never forgotten about it. I think about it. I'm keeping the center line.
That pointing finger across the midline.
I think about that all the time.
Okay.
So I agree with you. We have been doing that, but I think somewhere along the line, maybe like my passion came out a little bit.
And that's okay.
And that is okay,
Right.
I guess, but some people might not might not like that.
I would rather you be passionate about something you believe in than
boring
/
lame.
not true to your belief system.
There you go. Yeah, I don't that's the thing about
And
us.
not passionate about what you believe in.
Someone gave me advice the other day of like, hey, don't become this podcast personality when you're someone else on your podcast. And then when someone meets you in person, you're totally different. And they're like, oh, she's a fraud.
Oh.
That's not the case for you and I.
Okay.
What you hear and see is what you get from us 24/7.
It's what to see. What you see is what you get. Whether
you
we're
go.
on the set or whether we're in the coffee shop or whether we're at the volleyball match. What you see is what you get.
So I guess I don't know why I just felt like saying that, but just so you guys hear my heart, I guess.
For sure. I would rather be passionate and passionate about what I'm biased about, my biases, rather than non-passionate or unpassionate about and boring and being a fraud and being fake. Would you agree?
Yes.
That would be a risk I'd be willing to take.
Yes.
Because I can't fake it till I make it.
I'm not very good at that either.
So let's just be who we do. Let's do what we do.
If someone hands me a cup of coffee and I'm like,
This thing's cheeks. This thing's buns.
I cannot fake that.
You hand it right back. Redo. Let's run it back.
Oh, it got cold. I'll have to reheat it later and then throw it away.
Okay, you said you weren't going to be a part of the social comments, but it looks like you're dialed in there for the most part.
No, actually, I think that I still do a good job of separating myself from them, but the team, our production team,
right.
Brings the ones with a little weight to our attention.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about as it relates to some of these Instagram posts and some of the comments?
I'm glad you asked because there was a comment or two about me saying how the leagues are going to level out.
Yes. And you explained it thoroughly.
Well, apparently not thoroughly enough because someone said that was a very biased take on me, on my part, of not saying that Love has more talent than the MLV. Mm-hmm. Okay. So upon further review of
correction
of full plus 60 players joining Love this next season.
Did you see the rosters? They went out today for several of the LOVB teams.
I did not sit down and take a look at every individual one.
Okay, but you got a pretty good idea.
Yes. I will humble myself and say that I think Love will probably take the talent trophy again this season, this coming season. However, I don't understand how someone can say that was a biased take by me when I was saying how the teams are going to level out. Hear me out.
Round 2.
If we have MLV players, I think there's maybe 13, I think I counted, who are transferring to Love next season. Here's my thing. The general public, you guys, what we're hearing from our audience is that MLV players are less talented.
Overall.
Yep.
Okay.
So if those less talented players are now going to Love, and we have Love players who you all have agreed that they are more talented, if they are coming now to the MLV, how is that bias when I say the leagues are going to level out?
And that's not even taking into consideration, does your theory of some of the top tier Love players are going to play overseas the next 2 years to get prepared for the Olympics in 2028?
Yes, I don't have a list of every single player of where they're going next season, specifically the ones going overseas, because some of those people haven't been announced yet.
Okay.
So I don't have that.
But that's
Maybe
not even taking them into consideration.
No. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I mean, if I think that I can still sit here and say that overall, I still think that Love will have a little more talent than the MLV. But I also think it's safe and true to say that next season they will level out more than they ever have.
Next season's 2027.
Correct.
Okay. And you stand by that?
Yes, I stand by that.
Why did you feel like you need to defend your case? Because this is the same thing you said last time. No, it's not. You're talking out of both sides of your neck.
What did I say last time that you're referencing?
Levels are going to be equal. Then this time you said Love's got...
I would say after further review, when I looked at a full list,
Throw the flag.
I think that Love will win as far as talent trophy, right?
Okay.
Like the talent
The
medal,
level of
whatever
talent,
you
yeah.
want to say. But I don't think it's going to be by an extreme amount.
Okay. That's clear. I can get with that.
And then who knows what next year will even look like. So that's why I think it's fair of me to say that they're leveling out.
Right. Okay. So
that doesn't mean that it's immediately equal. Like, we'll never know unless they play each other.
Okay, because on social media, some social media accounts, posts are coming from the perspective that the MLV, especially since they dropped these new rosters, or who's going where, looks pretty stacked in terms of the rosters for the LOVB.
The MLV doesn't even have 3 teams announced yet.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's another thing to consider of like, there are still 3 teams that need to be announced as far as players. So it's not fair for someone to be like,
I get it. But
okay.
I mean, the last 2 weeks, LOVB has been dominating the headlines.
Correct.
That tidal wave effect.
That's what I was going to say, is we described that as a tidal wave,
right,
when MLV was wave after wave after wave in these slower
right. I don't think they can afford that. I think the MLV needs to do a kapow type of moment. Vegas thrill, here's our roster, let's go. Or
maybe
whatever,
they still will. I don't know.
Online,
we still
in the marketing, LOVB is dominating right now. So last 2 weeks in
dominating media.
Media,
right?
Yeah. But I mean, some people, that's their primary source of information. I would say the most of us. So if you just look at the media, you're like, oh, wow, MLV's cooked. Or doomsday for MLV.
What?
If you look at the media, some accounts are
that's
like,
crazy.
just based on the last 2 weeks,
that would be crazy if someone had that reaction.
Okay.
That's like literally only turning on CNN or literally only turning on Fox News, whatever channel outlet you want. But that's not doing your due diligence by checking both sides of the story.
Right.
So.
Said all that to say, it's not doomsday. The MLV's not cooked. Last 2 weeks have been dominated by LOVB in the media.
Yes, I would say
now it's time for the MLV to show up and show out and regain the momentum. I love this back and forth, the nuances of the marketing and the attention, the fireworks. What? That doesn't fire you up?
It so fires me up that I'm
well, then tell your body language. Oh, I'm so fired up.
What the heck? I have my shoulders back, my chest is high. My body language is not like that.
But I mean, it's good, healthy competition.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would totally agree. Now, the next thing is, let's get into the definition of poaching.
That's good.
Because
yes, some
people,
backlash.
Feedback on poaching. So the definition of poaching is aggressively recruiting or enticing players, coaches, or staff who are currently under contract with another team or league.
Hold on. That's poaching? That's illegal.
Poaching.
Isn't that illegal?
I mean, I guess if you get caught, I don't know, if someone wants to bring you to court.
I didn't know you could do that. That's poaching, though.
Well,
whether or not it's poaching, is it happening, yes or no? And how does something like that happen? How can we allow that to happen?
I don't know if it technically is illegal, first of all, to answer your question, because I guess unless there's a paper trail, but
right,
of enticing or recruiting.
Okay.
But anyway, what was your second question? If it's right or wrong, or if it's happening?
Is it actually happening?
It is definitely hands down happening. It did, not currently, it's over with, but
right,
it did happen.
That's back to your last comment.
Yes. Now, listen, I understand truly from a business standpoint, like a business has to do what a business has to do. It's not unheard of to poach. We actually see this a lot. We see this in real estate offices who are trying to get realtors to come to their brokerage instead.
Business, yeah.
We see this in roofing companies trying to get salesmen to come to your company versus the other staying at their own company. We see it. We see it everywhere. There's a business that sees potential and success in someone else outside their own business. Of course, they're going to be attracted to bring that person or that entity, whatever, to them.
So maybe it's illegal within the same league. Like one MLV franchise can't poach another MLV franchise, but an LOVB franchise can poach, or team can poach a MLV franchise.
And maybe that's the loophole.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the loophole. And also, I don't necessarily know if you could say illegal, but it would be breaking the rules.
Okay. Sounds like 6 in one, half dozen in the other.
I mean, illegal sounds like get law enforcement involved. Breaking the rules is like a slap on the wrist and maybe a fine.
Okay.
I don't know.
My bad.
No, it's okay.
Wrong word.
But if someone disagrees and says that Love didn't poach and that was, quote, a crazy take.
Which is totally fine if they did.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Because we like the conversations, like genuinely.
No, it's totally fine if they did poach.
I would like to hear their explanation then as to how Love got these players to agree to these contracts by the mid of or end of March this year. Because let's go back to the definition of poaching. It says players, coaches, staff who are currently under contract. Okay. All MLV players were under contract until June 30th, 2026.
Okay. No MLB players were announced until July.
But we have, I can't say names out of protection of those people, right? I have to protect my information, my sources. But they knew by April 1st where they were going.
Okay, so that's poaching by definition.
Yes.
Must be legal. Must be.
I think
it is in the rule book.
That's what I think. Maybe I think that is how Love got the players that they did.
Okay.
Because there is a loophole. So there was a current time frame when MLV players could not talk to any other MLV teams.
Correct. I get that. That makes sense.
So if a player knew that that current team they were on wasn't going to ask them to return, that's when Love swooped in and made all these moves. And these MLV players, of course, when there's bells and whistles and shiny objects and
a
dangling money
contract.
And a guaranteed contract dangling in front of them, well, the MLV door was still closed because you still couldn't talk to any other teams.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Love swooped in. To me, that's poaching. Do I think it's illegal?
Don't know. Okay.
I don't think that's illegal.
Okay. So
do I think it's wrong? At the end of the day, I also am like, it's business. Like, I want to be the best that I can be. Why not do this?
But
you know what I mean?
I mean, is it Bush League?
Is it Bush League?
You say classless.
That is the way to say it. That it's just.
Is it Bush or is it just a tactical strategy?
It's like
business strategy.
Ew to me. Like it's an ick to me.
Okay, so that's a red flag.
But it's business.
Right.
So here I am stating this non-biased opinion, right?
Yeah, non-biased.
Is it legal? Yeah, it probably is. Is it a loophole? Yeah, loopholes exist. Whether you think they're right or wrong, that's up to you. But at the end of the day, did they do anything wrong?
Or Bush?
Maybe not. But did they do some bushy things?
Bush League or some?
Maybe yes.
So would you have the same opinion if the MLV was poaching LOVB players?
Of course I would have the same opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah. However, I know that's not the case.
Right.
But I would, if the roles were reversed and MLV was doing that to Love, I would have the same exact opinion.
Right.
Is it wrong? Maybe not. Is it Bush?
Or is it just a
maybe so
tactical business strategy?
So I think every player, all of these players have every single right to choose which league they want to play in. I feel like we've been pretty clear about that.
And let's just back up. I'm sorry.
Back it on up, Terry.
Back it up, Terry. Back up, Terry.
Terry, oh, Lord.
In the grand scheme of things, this is a beautiful thing. We have 2 leagues in the USA, and they're competing against one another. It's the best possible scenario for every single volleyball player in the United States.
Is there any other major league that has to fight with another major league?
I know the LOVB golf had to fight with the PGA, or they had to.
Okay, there's
that
one.
But that was international.
Okay.
That was from a different country. It wasn't 2 USA.
What about USA leagues? Is there soccer? I don't know anything about soccer.
I'm not sure. Maybe top tier
But basketball
leagues.
doesn't.
Right.
Football doesn't.
No.
Baseball doesn't.
No.
So
not that I'm aware of. Correct us if we're wrong. Please let us know.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't do my due diligence on that, but maybe this is the first of its kind.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing any way you slice it. And the power, the leverage is in the hand of the players, because we have 2 leagues that are competing for the best players, the best product. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful thing. It's back to the old, I think you're referencing here, the McDonald's versus Burger King thing. Mm-hmm. It's the best thing for burger lovers to have a McDonald's on one corner and directly catty corner of Burger King, where McDonald's, it's going to be the same every time you have it. But in Burger King, you can have it your way. Remember that?
Yes,
it was
I
their
do.
slogan for a minute.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful thing. Anything you slice it, any way you slice it, from my perspective.
Yeah, for sure. So we've been pretty clear about that, in that we've also been clear that there's no judgment on these players at all.
No, you put yourself on the hot seat. This what you even said, knowing what I know about the 2 different leagues and how they operate and function, when the rubber meets the road, this would be an extremely difficult decision for me to make.
Yeah, it would. So although we maybe don't agree with this private equity model, I think this doesn't take away at all from the immense amount of respect that we have for these professional athletes.
Yeah. And the opportunities that they have available to them now.
Yeah.
Whether in the MLV or the LOVB.
Yes.
It's a great thing.
So what I wanted to say from that, though, is there's one more thing that I would like to address.
Are you backing up a little bit? Are you like reeling in? Like, back it up and jump.
What in the world?
Right foot stomp.
I don't even know how to respond
stomp.
to that.
You cha-cha.
So I guess this is like just mama bear coming out in me, I guess. But there was a comment about
the MLV having predatory contracts.
Yes,
correct.
and we talked about this last pod, so I don't want to be too repetitive, but they were simply saying that that's not true, and that just because we said it doesn't mean it's true.
Correct.
And that hold on, I think there's even a...
That should be with everything we say, right? Do your due diligence. Fact check us. Let us know your perspective. Comment in the comments. And to those that are commenting, we really appreciate your comments, so thank you for doing that.
Yeah, so the direct words are, hold on, I have to... This
is a quote.
That not the words from a podcast created by and for the league itself is not enough proof. So they're saying that we're a podcast created by and for the league.
And biased towards the MLV.
No. Well, they didn't say that we were
Generally,
biased, but created by and for the league itself. Just to throw this out there, this guy right here had this idea months ago, brought it to our attention. The league has nothing to do with our podcast.
Correct.
This was all you.
You sure about that?
This was all you, dog.
Well, you playing a part in it too.
Okay,
but what's
sure,
your point?
I sit here and talk with you, but I'm giving you credit, but we're not funded by the league by any means or whatever they're trying to put out there. But
why do you feel like you need to clarify that? Does that matter?
No, I'm just
matters
just
because
reading it right now. It matters because they're saying that that's not proof enough. Okay.
What's not proof enough?
That we're saying it.
But we're saying it from firsthand experience. You've
Yes.
been in the MLV for going on 4 years.
Yeah.
2 years as a player. What?
So I just want to say that this is not going to be from a bias standpoint. This is just facts. So I know that love threatens, I guess, a better terminology maybe is like pressure tactics when it comes to contracts with their players. So I know from a firsthand testimony that if you don't sign your contract fast enough, each day they lower your salary.
Dude, that's so used car salesman tactics. Here, take this number. Do you want it? No, that's too high. Let me go back and talk to my boss. Hurry up, because if this is only going to last for the next 30 minutes. That's so used car salesman. Are you sure about that?
Firsthand testimony.
Okay.
The MLV does not do that.
Can't get with that.
They do not do that. And let me tell you why. I think speaking, I know from the Omaha Supernovas franchise, because that's who I have had a signed contract with. Mm-hmm. They do everything with integrity.
Okay.
So yes, do they have deadlines? Every business does, right? If you're an employer and you offer someone a job, you're not going to sit around and wait 3 months for them to respond.
Right.
Okay, so deadlines are a natural business thing.
But you're not siphoning their salary the longer it goes before you get a yay or a nay.
All of the American volleyball players are represented by like 15 or less agents or agencies. So you play dirty with one of those players / their agent, that's going to put a black eye on your face. That's going to be that's going to make your name, your team, your franchise dirty. Right?
Yeah.
If you play dirty games with an agent, you're going to get dirty results.
Right.
And that's just going to tarnish everything that you've built and created. And so I know that we don't do that.
Okay.
And I'm speaking from my player perspective. Mm-hmm. Being under contract with the Omaha Supernovas, mm-hmm. everything is with the utmost integrity.
Okay. You just had to clear the air there?
And maybe, maybe someone believes me enough, but maybe there are others who are like, So maybe we can get someone else to come on here and share their experience as well.
When you say someone else, somebody from the MLV or somebody from the LOVB?
I think that eventually we should have both.
Okay.
But I was specifically mentioning the MLV just to back up their positive, integrity-filled mm-hmm. experience with negotiating. So don't know who I have in mind yet, but maybe we should do that. So
I think that'd be great.
But again, I don't blame any of these players for making this switch, because if I was in their shoes seeing all these shiny objects, like I would probably hurry up and make that decision well, knowing that dollar bills are just going to be burning away the longer I take.
Make my decision.
I get it. So back to the whole predatory contracts in the MLV, we just don't operate like that. So just to summarize.
Yes.
At the end of the day, every business has the right to choose how they want to operate. Like, I truly believe in that. And thank God for the freedoms that this country has, that businesses have, that individuals have, families,
just like every
churches,
player,
we have freedoms.
Yeah, every player gets to choose what organization they want to align with.
Yes.
That's freedom.
Exactly. And so I'm sitting here, I'm understanding, and I'm not disagreeing with these facts that love operates one way and MLV operates another way. Mm-hmm. Like you said, it's just like McDonald's versus Burger King. I think what you and I are just trying to really accomplish is just bringing to the light the truth.
Yeah.
So it's really up to you all how you want to absorb it, process it, believe in it, whatever you want. If you prefer going to a love match because it's more intimate and you have a greater chance of meeting a player, great.
Which
Go
was in the comments.
It is. If you have a problem with the private equity model and that bothers you, then great. Come support the MLV. We just are here to give you the information and help you make an informed decision.
But if you want to go to an MLV match and have a ton of fun, especially at the Supernovas with acrobats and what do we got? $100 or find the $500 on the floor. We got the Omaha
Dash for
Steaks.
Cash, the Omaha Steaks giveaway. Yeah,
we got the lights and the sound and the smoke and the and the play at the same level, the volleyball at the same level. Then come to an MLV match.
I'm at peace with telling the truth. I can't control what people choose to believe today, but I know this, that the truth has a way of surfacing.
Okay. Just it takes time, right?
It doesn't disappear because it's questioned, and it doesn't become false because it's unpopular. So in the end, reality speaks louder than speculation. So you don't have to believe me. Just give it time.
Where'd you pull that out?
I worked really hard on that statement.
Quote unquote GMP.
Yes.
Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Need to take a sip after that.
What is that, a cocktail? Okay, let's get into the Erik Sullivan.
No, not cocktail. It's a mocktail.
Mocktail, my bad.
Come on, I wouldn't be drinking on the job.
Hey.
Although some people do, I guess, with podcasts, but no.
Let's get into the VNL with the, because got a little bit of backlash on this one too. Most of the people, I think, were in agreement though on socials in terms of the comments about.
Again, backlash is a strong word.
Too strong?
It's too strong.
The cat of nine tails. Wapa!
Whatever you just did.
Sometimes it can feel like that.
Yeah, so
But bring them on. Bring the comments on. We love them.
I have a comment here. So this person.
Well, the clip was, is it a conflict of interest for the VNL head coach, Erik Sullivan, to also be affiliated with a LOVB team? Which team was he with?
Austin.
Mm-hmm. Is that a conflict of interest?
Yeah.
Was the clip that went out.
And even, let's say, even if he was a coach in the MLV,
yeah.
I think the major question is, should he be coaching the U.S. women's national team and a U.S. pro team?
Either MLV or LOVB.
Yes, either one.
Yep.
So this person said, in my opinion, it's okay for USA coach to coach a club. The way private equity monopoly has been in bed with USA Volleyball is gross.
Wow. Went for the jugular.
Yep. It's not even done yet. Both ends. USA Volleyball is a PR arm of Love. Somehow the staff for Erik is the same in both. Wrong. Okay. You can see it from Karch Karai down all the way to the athletes. Their disdain for MLV is loud.
Okay.
So,
well, that's weird.
Alvi Hernandez, 1931.
Okay.
So, thank you for your input. I guess I'm confused because they said, my opinion, it's okay for USA coach to coach a club, but then they say not so good things about it.
Okay.
So I just thought that was an interesting comment.
And you still think it's a conflict of interest?
I do, because here's the thing. Again, whether it was MLV or Love, but Erik is painting this dream for players to have this path to the national team.
He's selling his program. Is that wrong?
I do think it's wrong. It's two different teams. It's two different programs.
But he's connected to both.
I know, but
that's what he thinks wrong about it.
I think it's wrong because he's leveraging one over the other.
Okay.
And so he's telling these players, which, full disclosure, Erik was my coach in college. I loved Erik.
At Nebraska?
At Nebraska. He was the assistant for 2 years, my first sophomore freshman and sophomore year. Love Erik. I've always respected him and thought really highly of him. Still do, obviously. Right. I think he was an amazing athlete who has brought a lot of great perspectives to the future players that the players that he coached. Also, fun fact, he taught me how to dry my clothes using a towel because he taught the team that when we lived in China, when we visited China.
Okay.
I've never forgotten that fun fact. But at the end of the day, Erik is still leveraging his role as the USA women's head coaching job for these players to come play for him. And therefore he is poaching.
Oh.
And he is recruiting and enticing these players with, whether they have weight or validity or not, he's still telling them, hey, come play for me. You'll play for the national team.
He's using that to leverage.
So
is that Bush League poaching, or is that a tactical business strategy?
I think that it's tactical and a great intentional business strategy. But again, it goes back to, is it right or wrong? So I think if Erik was a coach of a pro team and that was it, along with being the USA women's coach, and he just coached and he didn't have any conversations or any type of involvement in recruitment, okay, not a problem. But that's just simply not the case.
Okay.
That's just not what's happening.
So we're back to a conflict of interest.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. You haven't really put your input in yet.
No, but I mean, I see the other side of it. I always represent, even though maybe sometimes I don't agree with it, the other side of it's just good to put it into light, what lens some people may be seeing the same things through, because at the end of the day, it's a business. If it's not illegal, if I'm not breaking the rules, why not do it? Why not leverage my assets to my benefit?
Okay, so my side of the story of that explanation,
side 50-50,
is the reason why I think it's wrong is in some cases he's promising players a path to the national team who really don't have any business being on the national team. So that's a false hope that he's giving.
You know that? You're making an assumption. I'm
not going to name names, but
can I name names?
I don't know. I don't know if I would say anything upon those names.
Can I do it or not? Because by the MLV standards, let's use an example. Saige, SKT, Saige Kahana Torres, starting setter for Grand Rapids Rise, right? In the beginning of the season, got replaced by another setter halfway through the season or so, was catapulted. Now she's the starting setter for the USA VNL squad. Thinking back when she lost her starting position that there wasn't a direct line to that, she stayed in the game, and now she has the opportunity to be the starting setter.
I am so happy that you used this specific example.
You're welcome.
We didn't even talk about this, or is in our notes.
We're talking about it right now.
Some people think that they're upset because Erik is using almost all of his Texas players. So he coached Saige at Texas.
Okay. But she's performing. They're winning at the VNL level.
They are winning, yes. And she is performing.
The starting setter?
I think she has played the most.
Okay.
I don't know if I would say she's the starter, the rock solid starter, setter.
Okay. But why are you upset that I used that example? Or
I'm not upset.
You're glad that I did?
Because I feel like that's a bad example. Because
perfect.
She is a bad example because she has experience with Erik at Texas. So she could have, let's say, been drawn to him because they have prior works together. Like he's coached her before. He knows her well.
There's nothing wrong with that. He trusts her as his setter. He has experience with her.
I know.
He knows how she...
That's what I'm saying. I don't really see a problem in that regard.
Okay.
Because Saige has been coached by Erik before.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a problem, or is that a right or wrong question with Saige. So anyway, pretty interesting thing to think and ponder about. Love Erik. I always have, always thought highly of him. Was really sad at Nebraska when he left to go to Texas. Come on. But do we think that it is right for him to continue being a head coach for both the USA women's national team and a professional women's team here in the United States?
And your final answer? Do you need to phone a friend?
This goes back to, is it wrong or is it Bush League? I don't know. I don't know.
It just doesn't look good?
Maybe that's the way to say it. Is
Okay.
it just, I think people notice it.
Okay.
It's like a sore thumb a little bit. Like you can tell.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway.
Moving on. Thank you again to all of our 210 subscribers.
Hey.
Up to 210. Our analytics
Moving
guy
on
shared that
up.
about 60 to 65% of we're moving on up, of our viewers have not yet subscribed. Subscribing helps with the YouTube algorithm and allows volleyball fans around the world to find and access our podcast channel. So thanks again, and please subscribe, like, share, and comment. It's totally free, and it's your way of saying, I like it, I love it, I want some more of the podcast. Every subscription counts and allows us to do what we do bigger and better each and every episode. So on behalf of the Major League Minute Podcast, thank you, 210 subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe on YouTube.
Thank you, guys.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Right?
But we're not done yet. We still got some more talking to do.
Yep. So let's get into it. Jordan Larson, the GOAT, is back. Ooh, Jordan's back.
This
back
was a
again.
Big sound the alarm moment this week.
I know. That announcement, the GOAT being back, has had me shook.
Really?
I didn't exactly know how to take it. It almost, from my perspective, it almost seems similar to like a toxic relationship where you quit and then you go back. You know, the song goes, should I stay or should I go? If I go, there will be trouble, but if I stay, there will be double. Oh, tell me true, what should I do? Should I stay or go with you? I mean, we're like a few months post a huge retirement gala party that was hosted here in Omaha for Jordan Larson.
I think that was not even a month ago.
Right. I mean, at this point, it's like the boy who cried wolf tale. So what's your take on Jordan Larson coming back to LOVB? Is this something, just a marketing thing?
I think it's very, very natural for all of us to be like, what? Because they just spent the whole season revolved around Jordan and her farewell season.
Yeah.
Literally, like, there's interviews of her crying, of their coaches crying, their players crying about
everybody coming to the LOV match locally to see Jordan for the
last
time, the second to last time, the third to last time.
Yes, and then she had this gala, this retirement gala, where international players and friends came in to celebrate her.
A lot of them.
I mean, guys, it's only been not even 3 months since their season ended at the very beginning of May, right at the end of April. So it's not even 3 months yet.
Can you what's your take on this overall?
So anyway, I'm giving the natural, like, yeah, we've already all thought of that. But from a player's perspective, I can understand. Retirement is a really hard place to be for most of us. I think there are some of us who are like, I am done getting injured. I'm done practicing.
But she's still balling out. To her credit, she's still balling out.
She is still balling out.
Right.
But again, it's like ball out and end on a high note.
Yeah.
But anyway, retirement is hard. I'm in her shoes currently. Okay. Now, I definitely not on her scale, like on her level. But I just can, from a player's perspective, I can really understand. Like, yes, she made all these decisions to retire and they planned all these things and she had a party. But at the end of the day, she might have had to force those decisions so that she could come to this conclusion of, I'm just not ready. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes you have to push yourself to retirement.
Yeah, you got to walk the plank.
There you go. Sometimes you have to walk the plank. I think she got to the plank, she looked at the water and thought, I'm not ready to jump in.
That's awesome.
I want to go back to the crew. And so I understand it. Like, at the end of the day, it does stink that, she had all these things this season and, people maybe, I don't think, but some people might be upset. I don't know why they would, but, maybe they drove 8 hours to come see her play one last time. But what? I feel like you're about to say something.
I got something because I need help understanding.
Okay.
What is it about volleyball that keeps you from severing the relationship from a player standpoint? Is it the competition? Is it
what keeps you from severing the relationship? I don't think there's
because you sever it and it's like going back to
I don't think one story tells all. I think everybody is very individual and each of them have their own story.
For you, what keeps
I can speculate and I can assume what Jordan's is. We all we all can. We can do that for anybody, right? Because everyone can speculate. But for me, I've explained this before, but volleyball has a whole different meaning and different feel for me now that I have a husband and a child, and now it's truly something that I do because I thoroughly enjoy it. I think you asked me like what specifically keeps me from severing that tie. There's a lot of things. I miss the accountability, and not only of holding others accountable, but people holding me accountable, of showing up, working out, putting in the work. I still do those things, but it's just not the same. Like, no one's counting on me to wake up at 7 a.m. to work out before my daughter wakes up.
But
you know what I mean?
Can't you redirect? Can't you pivot and redirect that same level of discipline and passion and zeal that you had for volleyball into coaching, into sponsorships, into, you're still...
Okay, I think I see where you're going with this. And the answer is like, no, not really. And so
it's not the same?
It's not. So I'm wondering if then the truer answer is the team aspect.
Okay.
But I guess when you're coaching, you have a team.
Right.
But I don't know. There's a uniqueness and such underappreciated value to being on a team, and an athletic team. There's a difference from like being on a staff team, I think, than being on a sports team.
Okay. It's not the same.
What do you think? Because you've played sports.
To me, all I can speak of is where I came from is chiropractic, retiring from chiropractic.
Okay.
But that chiropractic was never my identity.
Yeah.
So when the time came, I had no problems doing this and moving on. If it had been my identity and I get to the end of the plank, and then at the other side of that, I have no idea who I am, you know what I mean? Then that's a different story.
And are you
because
saying
you talked about identity?
I did.
And how yours has been in the past volleyball. Your identity has been volleyball. So when you come at the end of volleyball, then who am I?
Yeah, and those were dark times.
Right.
Those were dark times trying to figure it out. Now, thank God I did.
Right.
Because I'm standing in a much different place than I was a few years ago. But I don't know. I think what you're getting at is that's possibly what Jordan is facing.
I have no idea, but
that's
I was just
correct.
speaking of
we have no idea.
Speaking of my experience.
Yeah.
I had no problem doing this. Not saying that I was at her level or, whatever. I'm just saying when you get to the end of something, the problem with washing your hands and being done, pivoting and redirecting that same passion and zeal that I had for chiropractic towards a podcast. Didn't have a problem pivoting that way.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get lucky and maybe she'll come explain it on the pod for us.
Yeah, but in the meantime, I mean, at some point, she's going to retire, and you go back to the boy that cried wolf. It's like, all right.
Oh, like it's not going to be as special.
Yes, and maybe that's what she wants. Just to ride off into the sunset and pivot and become whatever she's going to do at LOVB, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I get it.
I haven't really thought about anything other than it's just hard to say goodbye to the game.
Okay, legitimately.
Yeah. And I mean, if she's still killing it and she's still athletic enough and strong enough and skilled enough, like, why not?
Yeah, and you think it's more along those lines. It's not more about LOVB Nebraska needing Jordan Larson on the roster. From a team standpoint, from a veteran standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, you're saying it's more about the love of the game.
I think with Jordan, I think it's more about that than anything else.
Yeah. Let's get into the MLV transactions before we shut this thing down.
Where are we at? Okay.
103. Yep. We have...
I think only one.
We talked about the MLV's been pretty quiet the last 2 weeks. I think need to drop a bombshell here to regain momentum on socials and to...
Well, maybe I just had the thought, maybe it's intentional.
Could be.
Like, if you're trying, you're saying that Love is making, like...
This noise right now?
A lot of noise, big old fireworks. If the MLV came in and they tried to match that. It just maybe wouldn't sit well or it wouldn't land well. So then it would be a waste.
So maybe they'll
it's
wait.
Intentional.
Maybe they'll wait till the rosters are disclosed or, put out, and then bam, MLB
Yeah,
will
here comes roster from LA. Yeah, who knows?
Okay. On the MLV side, we do mainly just one signing since the last episode. You know Claire Ammeraal.
Well,
setter.
I know of her.
Okay.
I haven't met her, unfortunately.
Okay.
But the Supernovas drafted her last season.
Okay.
Unfortunately, she didn't make it on the full completed roster for us. But I can tell you that everyone had positive things to say about her. Not one negative thing. Just a lot of compliments of how great of a teammate she was.
Good.
And how hard that she worked. So really excited for her.
Claire Ammeraal is going to the Columbus Fury. Setter.
Did we not say her name yet? Oops.
No, we did.
Oh,
I was just reiterating.
Okay.
I don't think we said that she went to Columbus.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes. So we're excited to see her in the MLV and potentially fighting for a starting spot.
Yep. Which would be awesome for her. Okay, moving on. Do we want to talk about the U Sports?
Well, I don't know. What do you have? I don't understand this comment.
Well, you
Explain it.
have the professional leagues that are throughout the world, where the professionals subsidize the U Sports.
Yes.
And then you have the inverse, where the U Sports in the LOVB subsidize the professionals. And it's a bit unique. It's kind of one of a kind. Do you see the contrast? Number one, usually you got the MLB, NFL, Major League Soccer, whatever, subsidizing, funding, supporting the groups, the youth sports. But as you see the LOVB model, it's kind of an inverse relationship where the youth sports is supporting, funding.
I think we might be seeing this more.
Give me an example.
So I think in hockey, it's starting to become a problem as well.
Okay. Is it a problem?
Remember that article we kind of discussed a few weeks ago about this whole private equity model?
Right.
That, what was it? USA Today.
Okay.
The article was actually about a youth hockey league.
Yeah. So we're starting to see it. So
maybe it's popping up like weeds. And what do we do with weeds?
we'll see.
Yeah.
And then lastly, before we tap out of here, again, social media can be brutal sometimes.
Yeah.
We ran a clip about Harper Murray being the most marketable college athlete, male or female, in any sport. Mm-hmm. A lot of comments. Who's Harper Murray? Why would you even think Harper Murray? What are you even talking about? Who is she?
People who said, who is she? No way.
Oh, yeah. Who is she? Why would you say that? What are you talking about? Arch Manning this, Arch Manning that. Juju Watkins this, Juju Watkins that.
I don't even know who Juju Watkins. Never even heard of that.
Anyway, lo and behold, who do you have as the stadium captain for the FIFA World Cup match? Representing the NCAA as a whole at the FIFA World Cup match.
Harper Murray.
Harper Murray. FIFA is the largest sporting event in the world.
That's crazy.
And out of all the college athletes, it wasn't Arch Manning. It wasn't Juju Watkins. It wasn't so-and-so. It was Harper Murray.
Are you about to take the mic out of the stand and drop it?
Nope. So I'm going to do this, and I rest my case.
Very good.
And we'll end the podcast on that.
I saw that post, and I was like, immediately, told you so.
Told you so.
Told you so. That is insane.
Let us know what you think. If you still think Arch Manning, Juju Watkins, or some other college athlete is the most marketable, let us know what you think in the comments. But thanks for joining us again on the Major League Minute podcast. We'll see you next time.
Bye.